Well, this would help if I would do this. So, good evening, y'all. Welcome to another
Hello.
episode of Geeking Out. I am your host
Hey.
for tonight, Ricky Z. Subbing in for Timon. So Timon's supposed to host tonight, but he's feeling under the weather, so we wish him well. If he gets better soon. Julian's supposed to be like doing some spells and healing potions on him right
Yeah,
now.
we're sending him some healing vibes from over here.
Some healing vibes.
We got a few crystals going.
Right,
A little
right. Got our
candle.
candles.
He'll be
Thank you.
back. He'll be back soon enough. Don't worry.
Thank you. Please come back. All right. So tonight's episode is about get ready for it because here's our magic word for tonight. Saturday morning cartoons.
Yeah.
So take a drink.
Oh, that's right.
That is the magic word for tonight,
Oh,
y'all.
shoot.
Look, come on now, Jermaine.
You know you should know by now.
You know.
You gotta come prepared with something on
Look,
Monday.
I was
Right.
concerned with other things before I was thinking about getting drinks, okay?
Look, if I like with my tech issues, I'm constantly thinking I need a drink to
Right? How can you not be thinking about that drink
I
all
do
this
not
time?
have a drink while you're suffering through your tech issues. I don't understand.
Yes.
So if you haven't figured out yet, our drinking game for tonight is anytime we say cartoon, take a drink.
Mm. And then the subject matter today, I don't know how we're gonna make it, but
By the grace of God,
by
by the power of Grace School.
We will make it.
yes, by the power of Grayskull, we got this.
But before we get into any of that, make sure you like and subscribe and follow us and all the things. So we're on Instagram, we're on Facebook, YouTube, we're on TikTok actually. If you guys find us, you can find little clips of our show on TikTok. Follow us there and laugh and share. And all that fun stuff. So just make sure you follow us and share it. And like we want to grow the Nelly Media / Geeking Out family, so we can't do that if you guys don't share the content for us or with us.
Invite your friends. Hello, Corwin, by the way.
Yes,
How are
thank you, Corwin, for joining us tonight.
Thank you for joining us.
Yes, again.
Tell your friends about us, like
Please
Batman.
do.
But don't scare them away the way Batman does.
Right.
Let's not do that, though.
All right, so I want to start our show before we get into our main topic. Zoom in. So how do we do the zoom in caption, Jermaine? Just gonna get real close to the camera. Doing a zoom in. Zoom in. So our zoom in is basically where we talk about some of the movies that we're excited to see or that are just been released. So I haven't seen it yet, but I'm going to see it this week. Is MCU's Eternals?
Okay.
And there's a lot of back and forth on that because the people that I know say it's good. The critics are
really okay. So I haven't heard what critics say yet.
Well, considering the critics are of a certain demographic, like most families are.
Tend to, yeah. Well, official critics sort of hate it. They're like, it's typical. It's a Marvel movie. It's not highbrow enough. They're not really pushing the envelope. We've all come to expect these things.
So they thought it was boring.
A popcorn movie and mostly forgettable.
What?
Okay, so all right. Well, I get where they come with that. Wherein I think that Eternals isn't supposed to be. It's supposed to be more of a setup movie. I don't think that they're going to do like an Eternals 2 really or anything like that. Like the Eternal characters themselves will find themselves like woven back into the universe. But I don't think that they're going to give them any more spotlight than they already have.
I don't know.
Like as themselves, maybe later. But I don't think that's what I felt like at the end of that movie. That's why I can agree with what they're saying there, where it just seems forgettable because it seems as if they were just kind of like giving us a setup, but without any expectation of really expanding upon them, except to use them as plot devices elsewhere. To really like give them regroup the Eternals later, and then they're gonna have another foe that they're gonna fight. I don't think they're gonna do that. It doesn't seem that way. It doesn't feel that way.
Okay, so I need a little background info on the Eternals. So,
okay, who wants to go? Go ahead, Jermaine. You saw it, yeah?
Do you want like the comic book background or the movie?
You do the comic book background. I'll do the other one.
I want the comic book background. So, like, isn't like Thanos like comes from the Eternals or like related to some of the Eternals or something like that?
Okay, so in the comic books, the Eternals is an offshoot of the human race. Way back in like prehistoric times, the Celestials, which are basically like the galactic gardeners, like they go around from planet to planet and they plant the seeds of life. And within like each planet is like a celestial embryo. And eventually like planets that have bountiful life is where a celestial is going to be born.
Okay, so what I found a little unclear is, sorry, do they do this to every planet that has life then? Does every planet that has life have a celestial essentially inside of it?
Yes.
Okay.
And that celestial life energy is what Galactus feeds on.
Does this have anything to do, like, it's reminding me of Peter Quill's dad from the second
Ego, the Living Planet?
Yes,
he called himself a celestial, but he is not a celestial.
Oh. Okay. All right.
Yeah, he's more of a copy. So he pretends to be the center of a planet the way a celestial is the embryo of a planet. So he
is the whole planet, but the celestial is not the planet. Like there's no celestial named Earth. It's just like moving shit around.
Yeah. Earth is just technically the egg, I guess.
Okay. All right, so without giving me too many spoilers, give me the MCU version.
So basically the Celestials came to Earth, they did experiments on early humans, and those experiments yielded the Eternals, which is a race that's sort of kind of on the same level of durability or whatever as Guardians. And they cannot age and they cannot procreate, but they have superpowers. And very early on, they were pretty much taken for the Grecian gods. So that's why they humans eventually co-opted their names, and they're like, oh, it's that guy, it's that guy, it's that guy. And through time, their names like Makari eventually became Mercury. Zeus was Zeus. Okay. Athena, so on and so forth.
Okay.
Thanos is an Eternal. He was eventually the Eternals were like, you know what, we can't be on Earth. So they left Earth and they settled on on Saturn's moon Titan. And that's where
Thanos was born, right? Oh, sorry. Go ahead.
Huh?
Go ahead. No, go ahead. Sorry.
Zeus changed his name, and they created these super powered rings called the quantum bands that release their powers or unlock their powers or unlock their abilities. And so he and his wife had children for the first time. So the first kid they had was Thanos, but he was born with the deviant gene, which is why he's all purple and ridgy and stuff.
I see.
Oh, I love it.
So why was he born with the deviant gene? Oh, because I'm assuming one of them is a deviant, the other one's a celestial.
Because deviants and celestials are essentially the same thing. It's just that deviants have a corrupted gene or something like that.
Okay, so but in the Marvel version they were created separately. No?
in the movie they're created separately by the same people.
Yes. Okay.
It's basically the same story as Metroid. Oh, there's things. We're going to create a hunter to like. We're going to create a predator to get rid of those.
It's very the story of Alien
virus. Oh no! Now they've gone rogue. We got to do something better.
Yeah. It's very. We're gonna build this thing that's gonna destroy our problems, and then that becomes its own problem. It's like, oh, we gotta build something bigger to destroy that problem, and it's like, oh, it seems like a cycle.
You release the frogs to get rid of the mosquitoes, and then you become like infested with frogs. So then you gotta release cats.
Yeah, and then you got too many cats, and then it's a whole, it's an endless cycle. But yeah, that's
next thing you know, the whole ecosystem's thrown off. Great job, guys.
Thank you, MCU. Okay, so well, Eternals was so it was. I mean, it did deviate a little bit from the origin stories of the Eternals in the comics, but I liked it. Mm-hmm. I thought
it was a fun take on the property, and I liked it. But at the same time, I feel like the most interesting thing about the Eternals was not the Eternals themselves, which was the case in the comics, and why the comics are never like that popping. Like the comics introduce a lot of things, mm-hmm. but the most fun things and the most interesting things about the Eternals is the Celestials and the experiments that came from the Eternal or that spawned the Eternals also imbued, like unlocked the human potential and gave humans the ability of having the X gene.
See, there we go. Well, so this is a nice setup for that. We have discussed this a few times where we're like kind of waiting for the X-Men setup.
Waiting, hoping and waiting.
Mm-hmm. This totally screams.
I know, but they didn't do that in the movie. So they had their
Well, this is true, but that's what I mean. I feel like they're going to bring them in as like tangent items, to help plot device and further the story, but not actually give them that storyline where they are the direct descendants. They are going to be the direct descendants, but maybe it'll just be. I feel like they're going to weave that in separately.
I think maybe we just like give up on the X-Men, like fake give up on the X-Men,
and watch it come.
And then it'll come, and then we won't be so disappointed.
I know.
That's what we
you know what?
We are putting a lot into that.
It really are. It's like really upsetting.
I got to the movie late, right?
Mm-hmm.
So I was introduced to Kit Harington's character, and then like all the junk goes down, and I finally get to his character. I was like, okay, and he's like, I have a secret. I have to tell you, but she doesn't let him tell him. Or tell her, and then like what goes down, and then the teaser comes, and I figured out who he was. But before that happened, I was like, oh no, he's Dr. Doom, isn't he?
Oh no. Okay,
no, he's not though.
So I've seen another spoiler, but like I've heard there was another character that was slightly introduced in one of the end credits, of the vampire variety.
Mobius.
No. that is true but false.
Okay.
Wait, at the end credits.
Yeah, like one of the end credits. That's what it was on.
People are getting things confused.
There was 2.
Okay, cool. Clarify for me.
So, in the end, there's a certain artifact that is bringing forth all sorts of whispers with it. Mm-hmm. And people are like, oh, and it comes out that the whispers belong to a certain vampire hunter.
Oh.
But it is not, but it is. It's the same actor doing the whispers, but it is not specifically that character.
That's confusing. That is confusing for me. Okay. All right. So things to look forward to when I go see it. So
basically the same voice actor.
Okay. That can make sense to me. All right. So things I need to do. So I need to make sure I need to go ahead and order my ticket to watch it. And I can't decide if I want to watch it Wednesday or Friday.
Go to Wednesday.
Whichever time is good for you. I watched it. I randomly decided to watch it on Saturday night.
I gotta watch it when I don't have to pay for children's tickets.
Oh, then definitely a Wednesday.
Wait, it's not on Disney Plus? Disney Plus not doing it?
No,
they Black Widow was the last one that they put on they streamed while premiering on theaters.
Gotcha. That's because they landed in hot water and want to do it again.
Right.
Well, the thing is, I think there's that, but I also think they weren't planning on making a lot of money with Shang-Chi. Because there was a lot of this push for Shang-Chi to do well because of characters of color representation, particularly Asian representation, and then like putting a lot of pressure on those movies to do well to decide whether or not there'll be more of those movies, which is like, it's dumb because those characters are there. Right. The characters are already there. They're already part of the universe. You just gotta give them stuff.
Right. And then also it's always this thing about like, Hollywood can't handle like an actor or like the lead not being white, but I'm like, are you sure about that?
Right.
Like we've done this numerous times without any issues. Like Black Panther was fucking crazy. You know what I mean?
Right.
There's so many examples of movies that have people of color for like the means that do so well. I don't get that shit. It doesn't make no sense.
The true issue is I'm gonna just say it. The characters that are mostly the people of color, the characters of color, are not as famous as the white characters because one, they're not as old. Mm-hmm. Most of the white characters that we follow were created in the 30s, the 40s, the 50s, the 60s, and the characters of color were like the 70s.
Right.
And since they came so late in the game, all of the like established things sort of happened already, and it's hard to give them something unique to them that makes them far more interesting, that makes you go, I want to read that person over that person. But at the same time, they also don't give as much spotlight to them. We came into this whole issue with Vixen versus Black Canary during the Birds of Prey discussion.
Yeah. That's true.
That's true. And that's a big thing too, is like, I understand that maybe these other characters were already established, but you have to give your whole repertoire of other characters, especially like people of color, ones that haven't been seen, give them an opportunity. And the other thing is also like now is definitely the time to really be changing that idea. I can understand that back in the 70s.
Yeah, now's the time, especially with the MCU. Because it's such a big blank canvas. You can pull characters, like you don't have to go in the same order that comic books went in. So you can pull characters from here, there, and everywhere. But at the same time, you might want to tweak some of them so they're a little more interesting.
Yeah. But also, like, the fact that, like, when I think of, like, what DC has done with Superman and Batman, like, think of how many, but even, like, with Marvel with Spider-Man, think of how many renditions we have of Spider-Man. How many renditions or versions of Batman we have.
Meanwhile, I just saw a movie poster for a new Batman. And
Robert Pattinson's going to be in another Batman. Like, we've had, in our lifetime alone, at least 3 or 4 versions of Batman. Like, we've had, and if you want to be real technical about it, just from those first 4 after the Tim Burton and the other one, that's like 3, right? There's 3 or 4. Those are all like different versions of the same Batman. Because they're all different takes on it. I mean, let's be real though. Like, we've had several different renditions of Batman throughout our lives. I've seen enough Batman.
Thank you. Batman, I'm done with. Superman, I'm done with.
Michael Keaton and what's his name? Just
Christian
there's a bunch of Christian Bale,
Val Kilmer, George
Ben
Clooney.
Affleck. George Clooney, Val Kilmer,
Affleck,
now Robert Pattinson. Yeah,
Robert Pattinson.
like we've got plenty versions of Batman to last his lifetime, not including like the old TV show.
Thank you. As if like Batman hasn't been like its own
DC
little
doesn't trust anything that's not Batman to make money,
right?
And what's weird
they don't trust
is
it because they also
don't bring any of his sidekicks.
Right.
Exactly. That's what I was just saying. They don't trust anybody else, and they wonder why they can't sell anyone else. Like, because the only person you care about is Batman.
Or if they don't necessarily sell, who cares? If the fans are gonna catch on, they'll catch on.
And that's the other thing. Like, you have to give fans like some time, and they also expect like they go by immediate.
They don't take the time to flesh out anything like.
And then you wonder why. So it's like you gotta give them a little bit more. You gotta give them more something. It's funny because as we talk about this, go ahead.
Right. So let's go on to the next thing. So because we gotta eventually get into our main topic, but another movie that is coming out. Hush, Garnet. That's the dog. Another movie that's coming out. I don't know when, but they just posted the casting of its two main leads. Is Wicked. So they have casted Cynthia Erivo as Elphaba.
Yes.
And Ariana Grande as Glinda, or Glinda, the Good Witch. I have mixed feelings about Ariana Grande.
I have mixed feelings about that too.
And the thing is, like, it's hard to say because, like, she has a great voice, and I know she has the musical theater background. It's just, I saw what she did in Hairspray when they did the live show. It wasn't that great.
I feel like her
Dove Cameron, though.
Kind of lackluster.
But Dove Cameron could probably do some Glinda.
Oh yeah.
So Ariana Grande is our pop singer, but she does have a musical theater background. Great voice. Hopefully she'll enunciate some words. But like Dove Cameron, we know her from Disney Channel. Liv and Maddie. I'd never watched that show, but I watched the Descendants movies. She played Mal, daughter of Maleficent. And yes, she was in the live action, the live performance of Hairspray that they did a couple years ago. That also had Ariana Grande in it, but it had who was it? Jennifer Hudson, in it as well. But Dove Cameron also has a musical theater background, but I think she'd be a great Glinda, to be honest with you. Yeah, I'm waiting for her to really pop off with her career.
I've never actually heard of her before, to be honest. Like I feel like I have, but I like you know what I mean.
You
Dove
probably
Cameron
have.
Was also slated to play Bubbles in the live action Powerpuff Girls show on CW, and she was a villainess on the I want to say 5th or 6th season of Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D.
Yeah, she's in Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D. for a little bit.
And man, she was so annoying on S.H.I.E.L.D. Her and those stupid shock rooms. I was so sick of her every time she showed up. Like, you know that dread you feel when Azula shows up, and you're like, her. Like,
not Azula right now. Right, everything's about to go wrong because fucking Azula's here. That's it. All the players are going to shit. This bitch has arrived because Well, it's funny though, but we
were having a good time.
I know.
Our plan was about to come through.
So I want to know in the audience, if for those that are watching, or if you watch later, like post in the Facebook group, like what are your thoughts on the recent casting for the upcoming Wicked movie? If you're even excited for the Wicked movie.
So it's gonna be like a live action movie musical, obviously. Okay. Okay, I have mixed feelings about that because I do love Ariana Grande, but I feel like she's just lackluster in delivery.
And honestly, Cynthia Erivo is my number one pick to play Storm in the MCU. I don't care.
Where's Jury when you need him?
Right.
You might get it. That's a whole fight. That's a whole fight waiting to happen.
Yeah, that is. Because I feel like he has something to say about her doing the Aretha Franklin biopic, the unofficial one.
I see.
Yeah, because Cynthia Erivo did that biopic, and then Jennifer Hudson did the other one that Aretha wanted. Yes.
They're working. Okay, so a little bit tangent, but it just
Cynthia does tend to take these like biopic roles that are not for her. The Aretha one,
she jumps at it because they said Aretha Franklin, and she was like, legend, yes, I'll do it. Icon, yes, I'll do it. But it's like, but girl, is that a good idea? Can you?
Is that really for you?
Yeah, I know, right? I mean, I get it. I would probably jump at it too.
Yeah,
like Monica Lewinsky. Yes, I'll do
great
it.
Opportunity.
But that's like Scarlett Johansson saying that she could be able to play a tree if she wants to. So.
Girl, Scarlett Johansson jumps at anything they give her. They're like, United Colors of Benetton. She's like, I'm doing it. I'm Asia, France, and Japan.
Oh, stop.
But see, the difference is Storm is not an actual person.
Right.
Yeah.
And Cynthia has the face for it. She has the body for it. She's not quite tall enough for it, but
I want Michaela Cole.
Michaela Cole is really good too.
I want Michaela Cole just from the bone structure alone.
Michaela Cole is a bit too thin to be like physically imposing. But at the same time, she's still tall.
Listen, the only thing that really is most important is that they get that motherfucking 80s hair wig down. All right? I don't care who the fuck they're putting it on, but that wig better be right. All I'm saying. She better have hair out to here, wavy curly, and it better move in the whole nine.
They are going to give her white dreads, a la the Queen Mother
take the dreads
of Wakanda.
I'll take the dreads
Ramona,
even, as long as they're stacked.
Ramonda,
they gotta be stacked dreads. Yes, I'll take it.
I can roll with that. I can roll with that. I just need it to be done right. Look, if y'all are filming anywhere near Atlanta, y'all have no excuse to not get that shit right. If you film anywhere near Greenbrier Mall, I better see a decent wig on everybody's head. Okay?
First of all, you can't use that. You can't use that as an example because Tyler Perry Studios is in Atlanta, all their wigs are hot messes.
Look, Bonnie Bennett was in some rough wigs, and Liv were all the way in Covington.
Which is a damn shame because it's like, Tyler Perry, are you black?
Okay, Tyler Perry's brand is bad wigs. Okay,
look, they definitely did not leave those wigs on the Chitlin circuit at all.
All those wigs, all the money, and all his wigs are still those $20 shake and goes.
Look, and the fuzzy cornrows. We can't do it. We cannot.
Yes for the yarn cornrows. Yes. Real hair.
We cannot. Okay, for real though, we gotta go on to the next topic. We're gonna go to our main topic, but before we do that, I'm gonna take these dudes off there for a second so we can do a commercial. We'll be right back.
We are counting down the days to closing out the beautiful Frasier. And one of the things that I really love about our projects, because we named them, we built character, they're almost like your little baby, and you're ready to present it to the world. And one of the things where you look at the little details, and then we start to nitpick, and then before you know it, a few weeks turns into a few months, and before you know it, your project is prolonged more than you thought, just for the little details. But one of the things you have to do is just breathe, relax, and trust the process. Know that you're exactly where you're supposed to be and you're doing exactly what you're supposed to do. And as long as you stay in committed action each day, you will ultimately get to completion. These things and more, we help investors get their start in real estate investing. So contact us, visit us at it'sjessicamyers.com to learn how you can get your start today.
I am Tamon Kane, writer and creator of the Associate Saga. The Associate Saga is a story about a fraternity that's based in New Orleans, and the fraternity is for male sorcerers. This fraternity goes all the way back from Egypt, and it was founded by 5 magi. Follow us on Instagram at Associate Saga, and check us out on jointhefraternity.com.
All right, so let's get into our main topic for tonight. Yeah. Get ready for it. Saturday morning, what? Cartoons. Take a step.
So I meant to bring a sippy cup because as everyone can see, I'm in my onesie. I have my cookies and my charcuteries. And I was like, oh, but I need a sippy cup for this wine.
There's definitely one of those cups floating around here where like it's like a regular open cup, but it has a little straw attached to it.
Yeah, that's what I'm talking about.
Kids cups, and I definitely did not have a bowl of cereal tonight for dinner, so I'm sorry.
No, it's okay.
But as you can see, my background is Rugrats, and I'm wearing my Rugrats jammies. They're the bottoms, the jammy bottoms. And
honestly, you know what? I didn't watch Rugrats so much as like a younger kid. Mm-hmm. Rugrats really caught me more when I got older. With when they came out with the movie and Maya and Blackstreet did the song.
Oh, I love that.
That way, they did like the main song for the movie. That was honestly, I literally sing that song all the time still, and it's like in my head at least.
No, that whole soundtrack was a bop though.
It really was. It was so good. Yeah, but that's when I really got turned on to Rugrats. Was actually at that point when I guess I was like maybe 12, 13, 14. Mm-hmm. I felt like I was like a young adult, an adolescent at that point. So
I was definitely one of those kids that watched it all the time. To the point where like my parents were, my dad was like, "You watch too much TV," and I'm just like, "Sorry, Dad, I enjoy this." But
it's funny because that's also something they tackle in Rugrats.
Sorry, I can't help it, but I enjoy it. All right, so the thing is, we wanted to talk about Saturday morning cartoons. It's the thing that's not like that's no longer a thing anymore, as far as I can tell. Like I've never, and granted, like even now, like I don't watch local television like that anymore. Like everything's streamed. But even prior to that, like everything is. There's not like much Saturday morning cartooning going on ever, which is sad.
I think there might be some like special lineups on like the children's channels like Cartoon Network and Nickelodeon. Right. I know they did have special Saturday lineups in like 2012, 2013, 2014, because that's when Korra was going, and they had Thundercats come out, and I was like, let's get it.
Right. But even like Cartoon Network, it's usually like, okay, you're going to play several episodes of Teen Titans Go and Superhero Girls, and then you might see some other stuff. You might see some Scooby-Doo.
Right. Oh, yeah,
that's true.
Yeah, but they all had a lineup. You know what I mean? You kind of.
Yeah, I mean, I guess it's just
wasn't. You're right. They just, what they don't do? They just don't highlight it the way they used to.
Right. I think it's because not like
super special.
Right. It wasn't like a new Saturday morning cartoon. It was just like you're watching reruns of shows that we already have in syndication.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. Oh, that's true. Well, you know what? I guess Saturday morning isn't like prime time.
Here's another one.
Right. And so, So one of my questions. Well, this is one of Tamon's questions. What morning show could you live without?
Ooh.
Here's 4. Okay. So which of the 4 morning shows could you live without? Spider-Man, X-Men, Batman, or Gargoyles?
Wow to all of these. Well, you're asking me a lot.
I'm gonna let you start, Julian, because I know my answer.
Mine has to. Oh wait, whoa! Gargoyles, Batman, Spider-Man. What was the last one?
X-Men.
Spider-Man, Batman, X-Men, Gargoyles.
Batman. Okay, so fourth on the list is Batman because it's definitely Spider-Man, X-Men. What is the Gargoyles? And
You
then,
gotta remember what it is, then. Sheesh.
yeah, well, that's what I'm saying. I was like, wait, well, because technically they're all like top. I wouldn't get rid of any of them if I could, but if I have to, I'm like, oh, I guess it'll be Batman, only because we've seen Batman 1,000 times.
I don't know, but like, if you're talking about like the Batman animated series from the 90s, though,
I know, it was so
Yes,
good.
that's the one.
It was so
I'm just saying, like, I
Wait.
don't think I could give that up.
This is hard, guys, because
But
I love
wait.
Goliath.
Is it we're getting rid of them completely, or just like
Yes.
which one was on Saturday mornings that you were like, I don't need you on this Saturday
Like,
morning?
one's gotta go.
Like-
One's gotta go.
You gotta pick one to go. That's hard. See, this is hard.
Right. One's gotta go.
Oh,
X-Men,
that's easy.
Spider-Man.
Spider-Man.
Oh. See, okay, thank you. Yep. Yep.
Oh my God, no,
Yes.
either of you.
Yes.
My heart.
All his
Spider-Man.
sports drama and all
No,
that
never
mess.
forced. I'm here for it. I live for Peter Parker. He's a sassy
Plus,
ass.
That's not even the best Spider-Man cartoon. Spectacular Spider-Man is the best Spider-Man cartoon. I will say that every single day, all the time. I don't care what nobody says.
Spectacular was good. Wait, Spectacular Spider-Man was which one? That was the one with,
from 2008, 2009.
So that's already from the 90s.
It had like this really weird art style, but the story was so good and everything was so tight and so beautifully done, and the animation was so slick and so quick. The voice acting was on point. The characters were fully fleshed out. I loved Gwen Stacy. I loved Mary Jane. Like the 90s Mary Jane, I could have done without. She was just like damsel in distress, just but like Mary Jane in Spectacular Spider-Man is all attitude, and I love it.
Yeah.
That's a harsh one, honestly.
That one is a hard one because
I have to agree. I have to agree though. Like I still want Gargoyles. I still want Batman. X-Men. I want Spider-Man can go.
Okay, this is a hard one. This
is
hard.
Also, they all give like Spider-Man's the only one that doesn't give me something different and new. Like Spider-Man, it's like, so you liked what the X-Men did, right? Well, we're gonna do it again, but with Spider-Man.
No. Anyway. Okay, so I guess Spider-Man's getting the boot. But Batman got a vote for me.
Okay,
right.
But okay, we're gonna get into the countdown, and then I'll talk to you about Batman.
Okay, so one more question. All right, one's got to go. Fox Kids, One Saturday Morning, WB Kids.
Oh,
this one's hard. Because they all were in their bag at separate parts of the 90s.
Right? Yeah. So
they were not all cranking out the good stuff at the same time though.
On top of each other.
Right?
Okay.
I'm thinking Fox Kids only because supporting Fox because it is supporting Fox.
That is a poor choice.
No,
I mean, that's the point.
Okay,
I mean, it's hard to pick.
Look at it this
Fox,
way.
the local
Look at
channel
the hot
is
stuff that we got because of those things. So Fox Kids brought us X-Men, Spider-Man, Power Rangers, Batman, and
Beetlejuice.
Oh, that's hard.
Yeah. Well, Beetlejuice came from ABC.
Oh, you're right.
And eventually Fox got it for like season 3 and 4.
Okay. So the thing is that like the thing is like when you look at Fox, the channel, especially from like in its early days, compared to like the Fox News channel, they're completely
different. They're separate.
They're completely different. Mm-hmm.
Yeah, they have nothing to do with each other.
Because like you have shows like Married with Children, and then like the the solid like black content that they had on there.
Yeah, they do
much like how the WB
Mm-hmm.
and UPN were towards the end of their time.
Yeah.
Like that, it's hard to think of like Fox, the channel back in the 90s has anything to do with Fox News that we have today.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
That's true.
Also, Fox
actually,
Kids
no,
brought
I
us
lied.
Digimon, and I will
It
love
sure
them for
did.
that forever.
It sure
Okay, I
did.
lied. So mine's actually gonna be one Saturday morning, only because
One
most
Saturday
of the- most-
morning, they gave us
I-
Pepperan
Like,
and
Pepperan.
Mrs. Munger's class,
Recess,
and
the Weekenders.
Recess, and How Much Stuff Could an Elephant Crush?
Yes. Still, they weren't. Those weren't me.
You know,
That's why I can give that one up.
and I
But
think
WB Kids brought us Freakazoid and
Animaniacs.
Road Rovers and Peaky and the Brain and Animaniacs
I don't know.
and Yu-Gi-Oh!
Bobby's
They
World.
gave us Yu-Gi-Oh!
I feel like WB
and Jackie Chan Adventures.
Yeah,
They sure did.
those two WB and Fox Kids they felt a little more like action packed, and one Saturday morning was just a little bit more like family, I would say.
Oh yeah.
So, you know what I mean? I guess that's really where those lie.
I can see that because I have a special place. I love Pepper Ann and I love the Recess and the Weekenders, but like
Weekenders and Disney's Doug, which is basically Doug season 2.
Right, like that's so like there's that. So like at some point, one Saturday morning turned into, hey, let's just throw some of our DCOM shows on Saturday morning and like hopefully it'll be fine. And so that's where they kind of slid off. Like, but those couple of shows right there, those are it. So I would have to say one Saturday morning too.
Yeah, one Saturday morning. I'm sorry to say.
I hate it.
R.I.P.
Why
one
did
Saturday
you throw
morning.
UPN Kids on here? We all would have voted for that mess.
Oh man.
Wait, UPN Kids. What was on that one? Let me go look that up.
I don't remember. That's a good
Iron
question.
Man, the Incredible Hulk, Ultra Force. Oh wait, no, that came on WB.
She-Hulk. On that one too. Yeah, they did have. I mean, but they didn't have. Okay. All right.
Oh,
no.
UPN
Kids. Gargoyles was on UPN Kids. No, that was
Disney.
No, it wasn't.
That was Disney.
Oh,
that was Disney.
That was Disney. Mm-hmm.
That came on one Saturday morning. That was the last cartoon to come on one Saturday morning.
Was it?
Mm-hmm.
Yup.
I remember that. Okay.
Oh, I think eventually at some point you had like, well, was that more of the Disney Channel, whereas like DuckTales and Darkwing Duck and Chip and Dale.
But that was before it was one Saturday morning. That was back when it was just ABC.
Yeah, that's true.
Yeah.
Ooh. Those were good.
That was
Those
when their headliner was the Sylvester and Tweety show.
Yeah.
Yeah, I did love that show. So.
You know, I think what one Saturday morning had like a good little theme song to go with it. One Saturday morning, and it had a little theme song, and I was like, that was very catchy.
The whole opening intro.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
And you know, and then WB had like the frog.
Oh
man, Michigan J Frog.
Yes.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. Yes. All right, so let's go ahead and get into the countdown. You're gonna get us started on that, Jermaine.
All right, so time for the countdown. I've taken all of our individual countdowns that we have told each other, and I've compiled them into an ultimate list of top 10. So, who's your top 10? We want to know. Write to us. Let us know in the comments. Let us know in the Facebook.
Please.
Meanwhile,
write to me.
While we get to it.
PO Box 963, New York City, New York State.
New York State 10108.
What is this?
Stick Sickly.
It
was Nickelodeon, so like
it
was like a summer thing.
Nickelodeon summer.
Yeah, like it was a whole summer thing. Like I don't remember what summer it was, but like it was literally.
But they did have things that only came on like during the summer, right? And, like,
but it was literally a popsicle stick with googly eyes on it, and like he talked to us, and like
I feel like I do know this one. I feel like I do know this.
Like you can send him fan mail, and he was singing that tune, and that's like if there was any address that I remembered, it'd be that one.
And he had like the fuzzy piping for hands and
Yes.
stuff, right? Okay,
Yes,
yeah, I know what you're
yes.
talking about. Yeah. Other things they used to do for us as kids, like what? I don't remember that.
If there are things that I remember from my childhood, it's both of my grandfather's phone numbers and Stickley's fan mail address. That's it. That's all I know.
I know Wallaby Way.
All right.
42 Wallaby Way.
Number 10.
Mm-hmm.
Oh man, I wonder who has that P.O. box now. All right, so getting into the countdown. Number 10. I hope you're not afraid of the dark, because there's some gargoyles out here.
Hey. Okay, yes. I like
monsters of the night, the Shakespearean king himself that gave us Keith David.
His voice has been a part of our childhood more than we realize.
Honestly.
Like he has the best, he's had some of the best voice acting.
Yeah.
Him and Cree Summers.
Cree Summers.
Our childhoods were made up by Keith David, Cree Summer, Jennifer Hale, and Tim Curry.
What about Tara Strong? Tara Strong.
Oh, and Tara Strong, yeah.
So Cree Summers was in the show A Different World. She played Freddie. She's like the one mixed girl with curly hair. So she's the voice of Susie Carmichael. She's the voice of Penny from Inspector Gadget.
Yeah.
She's done so many. I couldn't tell you. Yeah. Oh, number basically 5 from
every black girl that you can think of from any cartoon. It was her.
Chris Summers did it. Yeah. Number 5
Foxy
from
Love.
Foxy Love. I was just about to say from
Carmichael
show.
From number 5 from The Kids Next Door.
Yeah. Okay.
Number 5. She was the dragon. No, she was the rabbit. She was the rabbit girl with the bionic arm from Sonic the Hedgehog.
She was. She was. I think she was Elmira from Tiny Toon Adventures.
Yeah.
Yes. Yes.
Yeah.
So
what was the most recent?
Big ups to them.
Right. There's something really recent.
Tim Curry actually just made an appearance for the first time in 8 years since having a stroke.
Oh Lord!
Had 8 years ago, a few weeks ago. The 27th.
My heart goes out to him because I love him. Yeah. Oh, another person that was in our childhood that Tony J and Tony K. Man.
Okay, I'm at the Google.
Don't know Tony J. Tony J is the voice of Frollo from The Hunchback of Notre Dame.
Oh wow.
Okay.
And he also did the voice of Megabyte from Reboot. That one dark sorcerer guy from the Mighty Ducks.
Nice.
Oh my god.
Oh man, Tony J is my heart.
All right. So who's number 9?
Number 9, Recess.
Yes.
Okay.
You know what? I had a whole time where I wanted to I said something womped. I added womp to my vocabulary.
I did too. I use womp a lot. I didn't realize it was from that.
That was totally from Recess.
I never really watched
was your schoolyard as tribal as theirs?
I wish. No, it wasn't like that at all. I wish it was. It would have been way more interesting.
I feel like maybe it was.
Well,
I don't know. I feel like maybe I was
definitely had the Ashleys. We definitely had what's his name in Miss Finster? Man.
Oh my gosh, what's his name? Randall.
Yeah,
definitely had a Randall.
Weasley ass.
That's the one who was always getting in trouble, right? She blamed everything on him. right?
No, Randall was the one that was a snitch.
Yeah, he was.
He was the
snitch. I remember. He was like this all the time. He was gangly, and he's like,
like literally hunched over like this. Yes. Okay, number 8.
Number 8. Hold on to your diapers because the Rugrats are in the house.
Really? They were that low? Huh.
Yeah.
And to be honest with you, it's hard to think of Rugrats as a Saturday morning cartoon. Mainly because I feel like I remember it more so in syndication than anything else. But I do remember thinking about it, it really was mainly on Saturdays when I saw it.
Yeah.
Because school during the day, and by the time I got home, I was watching Power Rangers. I wasn't watching Rugrats.
Yeah.
After school.
I hear that.
Well, Rugrats started as a Sunday morning cartoon because the Nicktoons came on Sunday mornings.
Right.
So they didn't have to fight for time on Saturday morning. And Rugrats, I specifically remember, came on after Doug at 9 in the morning.
Right.
Yeah.
So
but I love Doug.
And then they got popular, and then they moved them everywhere.
Yes.
No.
They
were like, you're going to syndicate y'all now.
Prime time cartoon. Then they moved them to Saturday mornings and Saturday night and through the weekday. And I was like,
next thing you know, you got merchandise and 2 or 3 movies.
Yeah. But they put them everywhere. I mean, they were good. It was a good show.
I mean, yeah, they got a lot of play out of Rugrats.
Yeah.
Of course, it's a good show. That's why they brought it back.
I'm trying to think of that lineup. So Doug, Rugrats. So by that point, you also had Rocco's
Modern Life, and Ren and Stimpy. I think would be called.
Ren and Stimpy was more on a Saturday night. That was more the 6.
Ren and Stimpy came on at 8 a.m. on Sunday mornings. The original 3 Nicktoons, the original 3 was Ren and Stimpy, Doug, and Rugrats.
Yeah,
I couldn't imagine watching that so early in the morning.
I hated it. That's why I never liked Ren and Stimpy.
Was Modern Life. They added that a year or 2 later, and then after Rocco's Modern Life, they added All Real Monsters.
Oh, that one was a good one. I totally forgot about that one. That one was a good one.
Come on, Crumb. I fucking love that bitch.
I still sing Ickis and Fungus.
I don't remember that one, but
it was when Ickis had that pet dog, the pet puppy, and Crumb was singing that stupid song. It's like Ickis and Fungus, they're not a purpose. Don't call them pustule. Because Ickis and Oblina were always arguing over whether to call him Fungus or Pustule.
So gross. Fungus is better. We're happy for Fungus. Thank you, Unreal Monsters, for settling on Fungus.
All right. So let's go to number 7.
Yes.
Number 7. I don't know how. Hold up. So number 7 is a tie somehow between Darkwing Duck.
Okay.
And Wildcats.
Okay.
Those are so different from each other.
Wow. Right? That is crazy.
Wildcats was that SWAT cat. That was SWAT Cats.
No, SWAT Cats.
That was actually SWAT Cats. Yeah.
SWAT Cats is the cats that flew in the plane. Wildcats was the CBS X-Men clone.
Oh.
I'm sorry, that's so funny to think of.
I'm sorry, I have to look this bitch up.
Okay, so the ones that revolve around Donald Duck in any related form, they had really good theme songs. So Darkwing Duck, DuckTales, Tailspin.
Basically anything that was on the Disney afternoon had a killer song.
They had all 5 of them had
knew
bops
what they were doing
songs.
In the 80s, okay?
They had bops for theme songs, and you cannot deny it. I think that's part of the nostalgia.
They had endless bops, and honestly, WB Kids their songs went hard in the mid 90s. Like, seriously.
Yes.
Freakazoid, Animaniacs, Road Rovers, Pinky and the Brain, all of them have really great songs.
Those are so catchy. Like that's half the battle. Like, do the kids know your theme song? Nope. Well,
right. Well, Disney's known for musicals, so.
But I'm just saying. But like they were some jamming theme songs though.
They put some production into those songs.
They really did though. Like,
it's not like now. Like now, you get like 15 seconds of like someone screaming and like some like music blurb.
We don't get theme songs anymore. That's so sad, though.
I know. Honestly, I do love theme songs.
It feels like they don't do theme songs anymore, but they still do. I mean, Steven Universe has a really good theme song.
Yes.
Yeah.
The Owl House opening credits is fun, but like you don't love it for its song. You love it for the animation.
I guess more of like some of the live action shows. They don't have the theme songs so much anymore.
Right.
But like.
They fall to the wayside.
They do.
In the background.
Did the Goof Troops come on before a Goofy movie or after a Goofy movie? I feel like the Goofy movie before. Goof Troop was before?
Yep.
Okay.
Goof Troop came before. So Goof Troop was on in 93, and then a Goofy movie came out in 94.
Okay, so they knew that, hey, we had this jam and theme song. We can't let the music in the actual movie slip. Okay, so I get the correlation now. Okay.
Right.
Either way, they're just
like older in a Goofy movie.
Right. Right. Okay, so let's go on to number 6.
P.S. I do remember all cast now really fast. And yes, definitely clones of the X-Men. I had to look at it real fast and I was like, oh, that's right, them. Sorry, go ahead.
This is going to be good. Grab your maps and your sails and hoist the sails because we're going on a search for the 13 treasures of Rule with the Pirates of Darkwater.
Yeah.
Okay, I don't remember that one.
I love this one, first of all, and I have so many things to say about this one. So good.
I don't know this one.
Go.
Okay. Pirates of Darkwater was such like a pollution, like, illusion, I guess. So it's like they're the pirates who live in this world. Like, I forget what the world is called, but they live on this world, and there are these dark waters that are kind of like creeping its way out of the center of the earth, and it's taking over, like, obviously waters and then land and things. So they're like, oh, we have to stop it. So they need to get these 13 these artifacts of Rule that when combined will have the power to turn back the dark waters. But of course there's like there's like the pollution spirit that's creating the dark waters, and then there's another evil villain who's just trying to get who's like another pirate, I guess, who's just trying to get the 13
the pirate lord Bloth.
Yes, Bloth. Yes, he's trying to get all the artifacts of Rule just so that he can use them more for himself, not really, I guess, caring whether or not the dark waters.
So he can control. So he can take over, just like dissipate the dark water or whatever, but become the most powerful person on the planet. Whereas Prince Ren and his like crew, they're just like, we have to get rid of dark water, because what dark water is, it's like this sort of living, oily goo that will eat anything and drown it and just kill off all life on the planet.
Yeah.
But it moves like super slow until you get into the dark water, and then it's just like, aha, I'm gonna crush your ship.
Yeah. You can't get out now.
But
it was 20 years to get here.
It was so involved for only being 13 episodes long.
Yeah.
And those 13 episodes, no, it never finished. It got canceled by episode 12. So, or no, it got canceled by like episode 11, I want to say. So they never like finished it. But since it was in reruns so often that they eventually played all 13.
Yeah.
And I'm going to tell you, trying to go back and watch it is rough.
Wait, what do you mean, why?
It did not age well, but it's so ripe for a really good reboot. That like shows like that are the shows that need to be rebooted. Like we don't need you to bring like Batman back for the 72nd time. Like give us
even the cartoons have at least 3 revisions of it. Dang.
Yeah. And honestly, but the biggest seller was just the main character. Honestly, it wasn't your run of the mill person. It was a main character that I could identify with. I was like, look at this brown man like on the screen with like these almond eyes. He looked like a Filipino. I was like, I can vibe with it.
Very pretty and very alien. That is one thing that I will say. Like he had like this elven quality to him.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, but he was just like,
everybody on that show was brown because Prince Ren was brown.
And then the other thing, a lot of it, like the mythos gives me very like Far East vibes. You know what I mean? Which I feel like is probably why maybe.
I can see that. I can see that.
It didn't like sit
Tula. Do you remember Tula?
Yeah. You know what's really funny?
She was the crew's she was the thief, but also like super beautiful and an ecomancer, so she can control plants or whatever.
Yeah, and it's really funny because so totally random tangent, but there is, I'm pretty sure, a Tula in like character in Final Fantasy Brave Exvius, and now that I'm thinking about it, that character is modeled exactly after hers. Looks exactly like her, same weapon and everything, and she does elemental strikes and things like that. I was like, now that we're talking about them more, I'm like, oh my god, this character, I'm almost positive this is like a hat off to this original character now in the game that they've made like in 2020. You know what I mean? So it's kind of cool where you see these references every once in a while.
There is nothing wrong with aliens, but it is an alien planet. And so Prince has qualities born within him that you wouldn't really see on planet Earth. Like he's got really dark skin, but he has blue eyes and like straight blonde hair.
Yeah. Whatever, his look was everything though. I was here for it. Mostly just because,
it's sort of brown person.
It was like he didn't have pointy ears.
I can't remember.
He looked like I don't think he did. Yeah. But anyhow, that one's a good one.
Maybe I'm thinking of his eyes, because his eyes did sort of like turn upward, sort of.
Yeah, they were almond eyes. They had that upward slant on the ends. He was very pretty though.
All right. Number 5. Here we go. Get some popcorn and prepare for the drama, because Spider-Man's here.
Yeah.
Spider-Man, the animated series.
Here for it.
Garnet feels some type of way about it.
Garnet doesn't approve.
But I liked it. I mean, I liked it, but like if I were to have to choose between X-Men, Gargoyles, and Batman, Spider-Man would have to go. I'm sorry about it.
No. Oh.
I still like it.
Ooh. Whatever. I love it. Black Cat.
Okay, so I love Spider-Man, and they introduced some things in that show that I feel that I've internalized as my preferred canon. Specifically, Black Cat. I love Black Cat being a transforming super soldier and sort of thief. Like in the comic books, she's just Felicia Hardy, and she's always got white hair, and she doesn't have like super strength or anything, or any of those superpowers. But I love that version of her from that cartoon, and she was voiced by Jennifer Hale.
Yeah, it gave her a little something extra. That, and I liked the love triangle that she presented at one point or another. She gives me Selena Kyle vibes.
Yeah.
Okay, so I didn't know this, but I didn't realize that Mary Jane was not the original love interest for Peter Parker. It was
most people don't.
What's her name?
Wasn't it Gwen?
No, yeah, it was Gwen Stacy, wasn't it?
She was first, no?
I think so.
Well, in the comics, his original was Betty Brant, and then he got with Gwen Stacy.
Right. Yes,
and then after Gwen Stacy died, then he eventually got with Mary Jane.
And so the thing with Mary Jane, like the fans kind of pushed for Mary Jane because they like Mary Jane more.
Well, the reason why they did Mary Jane in the 90s series instead of Gwen Stacy is because Gwen Stacy dies, and they're like, that's too dark for kids.
Yeah, so the way she died was
just
like
going to go with Mary
lot.
Jane.
Also, Mary Jane gives me also Jean Grey vibes from the 90s cartoon, at least. Like that kind of feel. Hair-wise, model gives me that.
Yeah, they definitely had a thing for redheads in that time.
Right? Because Ariel was the 90s. You know what I mean? Then we had Jean Grey. Love for redhead cartoons.
I'm
judging you, like
I know,
hardcore, like real.
Let's pour a shot out. Oh man.
Oh no. Okay, so let's go on to number 4 before I cry.
Although Spider Mary Jane is nice. She's pretty with the black and the white and the hair out.
Yeah,
we've seen her. She's nice.
Yes. Number 4. Is that girl from gym class? No.
Pepper
that's me.
Ann.
It's Pepper Ann.
Pepper Ann. Oh my god! Talk about iconic theme songs.
She's one in a million.
She's one in a million. Oh my goodness! I was so glad when Disney Plus finally put Pepper Ann on their streaming site. Like how? Like I'm waiting for them to put some more of it on the for more things on there. But like my gosh! Like how do you not have Pepper Ann on there? If any of the cartoons, any of the old cartoons, you didn't have Pepper Ann. But there was just something about Pepper Ann. The fact that it's like this middle school girl that's completely awkward and tomboyish, but she was so cool to me. I loved her.
Pepper Ann was basically Doug, but better. Like she was Doug 2.0, but done the right way. Because she was prone to like tripping out in her own like fantasy world, just like Doug. But like her imagination scape was so much better. Her theme song was so much more rockin'. Her surround cast is so much more fun.
Like her little sister.
But
you're just like, is that a boy?
Moose?
No, it's my sister. Yes, it's my sister.
I love that Moose's grandparents weren't even sure like what Moose was. They're like, oh, there's Moosey, my little granddaughter, son.
My non-binary sovereign, okay? That's what it is.
Bitch, yeah.
You can't say queen. Non-binary sovereign.
Yeah, okay.
All right, let's go on number 3.
Number 3. Collect your rings, because we're going fast with Sonic the Hedgehog.
Okay.
The Saturday morning cartoon, the action epic with that theme song.
I forget how the theme went. I know it was all rocking. It was a lot of guitar.
Blue streak speeds by, Sonic the Hedgehog, too fast for the naked eye. Sonic the Hedgehog.
That's the one I remember. There's so many renditions of Sonic the Hedgehog, like I couldn't tell you which one's which anymore.
Sonic the one that had they decided to launch 2 different cartoons at the same time. One of them was super jokey, and the other one was super serious. And the super serious one came on Saturday mornings on ABC. The super jokey one came on like UPN on weekday mornings.
Oh my goodness.
I actually like the super serious one a little bit more. That was everything was like kind of dark.
Everybody loves the super serious one because that one gave us Princess Sally.
That's right. That's who that was. Princess Sally she was pink, right? I think. No,
that's Amy. We don't talk about Amy. That's from Sonic X. We don't talk about them.
Gotta go fast. Gotta go faster, faster.
Princess
faster,
Sally
faster.
was when they had the Freedom Fighters, they like Sonic was the only one that was like a weird color, and all the other animals were like brown and like blonde and stuff.
Like regular animal colors.
Yeah.
Oh my goodness.
Princess Sally, I forget what kind of animal she was. I think she was like I want to say a weasel. No, she was a chipmunk. She was a chipmunk.
Oh my gosh. Okay. That's kind of ridiculous.
But we're here for it.
Yes. All right. So number 2.
Yes.
Oh, here we go. Number 2. All right. Let's get into it.
Let's go.
The number 2 that everyone loves, everyone will swear up and down by, Batman, the animated series.
Because that was the shit. That one's always been like A1 Batman. Like, if you want to talk about a Batman series that can like compete with like the movies, it's that one.
Honestly, though,
it's true. Those stories are on point.
Like that's just like the epitome of like
started. When that series started, I hated it. I did not want to look at Batman. I was not here for it. The Art Deco style turned me all the way off. I'm like, nope, it looks old. Lame.
But that kind of plays into some of like the Tim Burton version of movies. Like
they really leaned into the Tim Burton designs, and that was another thing that I was not a fan of, because at that point my knowledge of Batman was the 1966 series. So that was Batman to me. And then like this series comes and the Penguin's like ugly and Danny DeVito instead of like
why is it Danny DeVito and why is he squawking like a bird? I'm over it.
But he didn't squawk like a bird. That's what I was mad about.
Honestly, that's true. But honestly, no, he did a really good job though. I thought Danny DeVito.
And why is this Joker like way more menacing than the one from the?
That's the thing. It was that menacing part, I guess.
Oh my goodness.
You know what it was?
It was very dark.
It was every time like he would do anything, he'd always like grunt. It was like the grunts that he would make. I was like, okay, Danny DeVito, I'm here for that. Every time he'd do anything, he'd be like, and then he kind of like squawk. It's funny.
So like for a cartoon though, like that, the Batman animated series was pretty darn dark for some Saturday morning cartooning.
It really was. And honestly, but that's like the best Poison Ivy. I love that Poison Ivy.
Why it came on at 7 a.m. Like it was the first cartoon to come on after Bobby's World.
Bobby's World. Bobby's World. I remember Bobby's World.
I never watched Bobby's World.
I remember
I
like having
that one.
No, Bobby's World was the show that you watched just to get to the next show that you wanted to actually watch. You know, that one yes, Bobby World is still on, so like I haven't missed my actual show that I want to see yet, so let me just sit through Bobby's World and I see the show that I really want to watch.
No, that's when I turn on the Sega Genesis.
Well, at that time, the lineup for Fox Kids was like 6 a.m. Romper Room, 6:30 Bobby's World, 7 o'clock Batman the Animated Series, 7:30 The Masked Rider.
I remember that
7:30 was Eat the Cat. 7:30 was Eat the Cat. 8 o'clock was The Masked Rider.
I remember Eat the Cat. Masked Rider though.
I forget what came on 8:30 because I was not watching that channel at that during that whole hour.
I don't know what
I was like, no.
All right. So before we get to our number one Saturday morning cartoon, we want to make sure that you remember to like and subscribe to our channel. Find us on YouTube. You can find us on Facebook. We're on Instagram, TikTok. You can find us on. You can, if you're catching us on Twitter, give us a shout out. So we know that you're watching us there. But yes, if you haven't already, go ahead and like tell us what your top 10 Saturday morning cartoons are on our Facebook group. We definitely want to see what you guys said, and if our top 10 was completely off base for you, let us
Yeah,
know.
let us know.
You know, I wouldn't feel bad if it did. It's okay. I don't.
I know there's at least one or two things someone is missing on here.
Right. Like, because like Pirates of the Dark Water, I'd never heard of it. Never.
But that one really was like, it was really popular though at the time. I feel like everyone knew it.
What you mean?
I don't look. I couldn't tell you. I couldn't tell you.
I guess it is more niche, just like Skeleton Warriors. Not everyone's gonna know them.
Yeah.
Skeleton Warriors. Mummy's Alive. That was another one. That one was kind of niche too.
Mummy's Alive. Mummy's Alive was one of those things that I couldn't miss in the like before school. Mummy's Alive
and another one.
Like, Princess Tinko and the Guardians of the Magic, but
yeah.
Shut
you
up.
know why Mummy's Alive, especially because they were brown, you know. They were. It's like, it's a team of brown people.
Also, Cree Summer was Nefertita in Mummy's Alive.
Of course she was.
See, of course she was.
And Cree Summer was She-Hulk in the Incredible Hulk series.
Of course she was.
Everyone. She's everywhere.
Right. She's everywhere. It's okay. All right. So for me, I want to say a quick honorable mentions of any of the teen shows that came on in the mornings on Saturdays.
That's where I was getting to. So the honorable mentions go out to Saved by the Bell.
Yes.
California Dreams.
Yes.
Flash Forward.
Space
Cases.
City Guys. And
Sabrina, technically, no.
Sabrina was a Saturday night show.
No, that was a Friday night thing.
That was
part of TGI.
My bad.
Yeah, because she would come on after Boy Meets World.
My bad.
The Amazing World of Alex Mack,
wasn't it?
Yes, Alex Mack. And then all the sports shows on the game shows on Nickelodeon.
Because that's all they had.
Yeah.
All the game shows.
It's like the kids game show channel.
Yeah. Well, on Saturdays they would have Wild and Crazy Kids and Guts and
but Nickelodeon Guts was a Saturday night thing.
Well, it would lead into Saturday night, but after they did the morning towards the afternoon they would have those shows Wild and Crazy Kids, then they do Salute Your Shorts, and then they had Legends of the Hidden Temple, Double Dare.
Man,
those were good shows. Those were quality game shows, honestly.
Yeah. They really were, though.
Since you're talking about those game shows, shout out to Where in the World is Carmen Sandiego.
Yes. That was good too.
That one.
Yes.
That one is so good. Have you guys seen the Netflix show?
Yes, I have. It's good.
I like it.
Is it?
It's good.
Okay.
You know everybody does whatever, but I like it.
Yeah, okay, I'm here for it then. All right.
Okay.
You gotta watch it. You gotta catch it.
Watch it. Oh, they also have a choose your destiny version of it on Netflix, where they'll give you a storyline and they'll let you do that on there. There's at least one episode.
The whole Bandersnatch thing, and you choose the.
Oh no! I totally gotta watch this.
Yeah, that was
Scholastic books.
Yes, choose your destiny type thing. It's
because you gotta solve the crime along with her.
Yeah. It was choose your action, what steps do you take next, and then what's the fallout from it. Kind of those old Goosebumps books that let you choose which path you took. But yes, number one.
Honorable mentions that we're not going to get super deep into. Where on Earth is Carmen Sandiego? Goosebumps, Muppet Babies, Road Rovers, Freakazoid, Captain Planet, and Reboot.
Oh, Reboot.
Heart.
You can find Reboot on Amazon Prime, right?
I think so. It's on one of these.
Yeah, I think you watch on Amazon Prime. Yeah, it's on Amazon Prime. But anyways, I'm sorry. Go ahead. Number one.
Then they canceled it, brought it back. Canceled it, brought it back.
Yeah.
Look, there's this whole 3-hour epic that I watched that this man did on YouTube that details the entire history of Mainframe Productions. And it is so well done. I wish I could plug him right now. I have to go find him because it's so good. I watched it like a long time ago.
Well, yeah. He's like, I just finished it an hour ago. I've been watching it for 3 years. That's how long it's been.
All right, so what's number 1?
Of course, without question, the king of the 90s. Those that are homo superior to everyone else. The X-Men.
Yes, homo superiorum.
Yes. Okay.
X-Men, the animated series. Best adaptation of the X-Men. They ruled the 90s. And it's honestly their fault that we got superhero movies to begin with. Because the X-Men movies would not have come out if the X-Men cartoon hadn't gone over so well.
Right.
That's
true. You know, I would have to say though,
also just X-Men.
Right. I feel like X-Men Evolution was a very good retelling of it.
Yeah.
Of X-Men.
It was. X-Men Evolution. A lot of fans of the X-Men are on the fence. They're divided when it comes to X-Men Evolution. And that's for one specific reason.
Always.
Storm.
Our girl. Yes. Look,
Storm is the reason that people are divided, because on X-Men the animated series, she is so OP and so super like in control and so like just you can't step the storm. You step the storm, you're gonna get zapped. Like you can't.
She's clearly one of the leaders in the group. Clearly.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. Oh,
which is where she belongs.
That's another thing. So, they won't do this now, but if you recorded it from Fox Kids in the old days, they re-recorded some of the music for the X-Men animated series. So if you go back, Storm's music is very like it's very operatic, very dramatic. Whenever she's doing her big Storm stuff, is very dramatic. In the original run, it was they would specifically play Flight of the Valkyries.
What? Wow. That's so
cool, whenever she's getting big and heavy, it would go dun 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 dun. You're like, oh,
it's coming.
But now they didn't have the money to like do that when it went into syndication or whatever.
Right.
So they replaced it with Flight of the Valkyries adjacent.
Valkyrie Light. Flight Light. Oh, okay. It's so weird. Like
Valkyria Leviosa.
You know, the thing is, it's as much as I love Storm, like Storm is such a hit or miss when it comes to the franchise, like outside of the comics. I feel like between the movies and like the
even in the comics, she's hit and miss.
Right, like they just can't seem to do right by her.
Right. Well, it's also I feel like
because we want her to be the OP super queen that we know her to be. But at the same time, once Chris Claremont left the book, all the storylines that he had going for her left because she was clearly one of his favorites to write for. Her and Nightcrawler, because they got all the development.
I love Nightcrawler.
Yeah. And then look at him now.
I know.
Look, you can barely remember Nightcrawler sometimes unless you've been in it.
I know. But I mean, I feel like half the problem is also we expect a lot from Storm, and they just they just won't deliver it, which I don't understand why.
Right, that's the thing though. Like
we expect a lot from Storm because of the way that she was portrayed in the '90s cartoon.
Right, it's true, but not just the cartoon, but also
for a lot of people that was their first exposure to the X-Men.
Right, and then like you get to the movies and like
so disappointing.
Wow. Right,
but even in the comic book, she's pretty.
None of that is there. None of that is there.
No. Absolutely not.
No. All right, y'all. So thank you so much for watching tonight's episode. Like I said, make sure you like and subscribe. Follow us on YouTube, Twitter, Instagram, all the things, all the social medias. But also make sure you join us on our Facebook group and interact with us there, because we'll talk about all the geeky things we've been talking about tonight. Because like I want to hear you guys' ideas of your favorite Saturday morning cartoons. So
yeah, I know we didn't hit them all.
we definitely did not. Like that's like the surface, and we really only stayed in like the 90s, early 2000s.
Yeah,
there's so many of them.
Say anything about Ben 10 or Generator Rex, the Secret Saturdays. Man, there's so many.
Look,
Sonic
there
X.
was some that were syndicated from the 80s that I remember watching.
Yeah, because like Speed Racer used to be like a Saturday morning cartoon.
Oh man!
And Speed Racer adjacent things, you know.
Jim and the Holograms used to be a Saturday cartoon,
like,
and I loved Jim and the Holograms.
Silverhawks.
Wasn't Care Bears a Saturday morning cartoon? Because I remember living for Care Bears.
I think so.
Yeah.
My Little Pony wasn't it?
Yeah, I'm pretty sure.
So we weren't kids then, so we don't know. I mean, okay,
we weren't kids.
We were kids then, okay? Nobody remembers that mess.
You're right. I just remember Care Bears in the colors and loving them. They were cuddly and wonderful. You know what I mean?
Yes.
But I don't really remember Care Bears as like the pop.
Next week's episode, we want you all to get all of your magical artifacts, all of your pretty girl ribbons, and everything, because we are going to tackle Sailor Moon.
Yes. You better grab your ruling planet. That's it.
Yes. We'll debate on whether or not you're going to call her Usagi or Serena, and if we need to fight you on it. So
and also Sailor Mars is not the best one, just so everyone knows.
What? Okay. We will discuss this.
P.S. It's Jupiter.
And whether Sailor Uranus was non-binary or trans.
Yeah, she certainly was. No, that was Neptune, right? Pluto? Sailor Pluto?
I mean, depending on... We'll get into it next week. So tune in next week when we hit Sailor Moon with all our junk.
Yes.
Enjoy. Thanks for tuning in. And we will see you later. Ciao.
Night, y'all.